We're checking into Psyck.
Psyck.
Yo, check it out. It's a sick discussion.
You tuned in to Sick Discussions. You are now listening to a Sick Discussion.
Yo, welcome back to another episode of Sick Discussion.
Sick.
As always, it's your boy, Reggie So Dope.
What up, it's Devin.
What's going on, y'all? This is Marv.
Y'all, we have another special episode for you.
Drum roll.
As you see, we got another guest in the building, or in the basement. We got Mariah down here with us, y'all.
Hey,
Make some
y'all,
noise.
what's up?
We're going to get sound effects at some point.
Extra.
Mariah, thank you so much for pulling up.
I appreciate y'all inviting me. I'm so excited to be
the
here.
mic.
I'm so excited to be here.
So
excited.
Yeah, so as you see, we all actually have on just like shirts, crews, and hoodies from her brand. And I didn't even realize we got on legit a shirt, a crew neck, and a hoodie.
Yeah. Our strength, our talent, our style is Max. It's a black vibe. Hey.
They go, I jingle. Jamie Foxx. Nah,
We're going to have to record that.
Tell us about yourself. Who are you? What do you do?
Well, I am Mariah Harris. I am a graphic designer and entrepreneur. I have just recently started a brand called It's a Black Vibe, where as y'all see right now, it's Black empowerment.
Yeah.
It's all in the name. But yeah.
Okay. Cool. Thank you again.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a very interesting conversation today that really requires Mariah's help. Legit.
I'm here.
And so today we're going to take a little turn from what we typically talk about, which is like mental health and all of that good stuff. And we're really going to talk about establishing your brand. Like how exactly does one establish a brand and all of that good stuff. And so we're going to get right into it. So what the fuck is a brand?
Mariah, it's on
Take
you.
it away.
Take it away, Mariah.
Oh, wow. Just throw it to me for the first question. Well, I define it, I guess, differently because I had to Google it. I was like, child, what does other people describe a brand? But I actually describe it basically your voice or uniqueness of your company or whatever you're trying to sell to a certain audience. So if you got a saying like mine is, it's a black vibe, it's the name and it's the saying of the company. Just basically just a mark that is unique to other companies. So that's how I describe it.
Okay, that's how you describe it.
Okay.
Anybody else? You got some parsley. All right, so we talk about establishing a brand, building a brand. LLC Twitter is legit harassing us.
Wow.
So everybody else, what's your perspective? Like, what is a brand?
I can just read the Google definition real fast.
Well, just Google.
Come on, research.
A brand is a name, term, design, symbol, or any other feature that identifies one's seller's goods or services as distinctive from those other sellers.
Period. So a brand is either a product, so it's like a thing, or it's a service.
Right.
Okay, so for all of y'all who like, ooh, I want to start my own business, but I don't know what. Either create something people can buy or create a service people can use. It's just that simple. If it's not one of those things, you really don't have a brand.
Pretty much.
But all right, for real. So let's get into it then. So like, if that is a brand, then what does it mean? What does it mean to have a brand? Right? Because you hear like, I am a brand, have your own brand, all this, you hear all this stuff about brands. So like, what exactly does it mean to have a brand?
No, I don't. Child, because listen, y'all keep putting me first. Listen, you go right ahead, Marv.
Mariah got something to say.
Listen.
So, what does it mean to have a brand or be a brand? So like you said, after you figure out that product or that service that you provide, I think Devin said it in the Google definition, it's kind of like, what do you have like to set you aside, like from the competition? So that's when you really want to dig into like be more creative, show a little bit more of your personality, what you're trying to promote, because like what will make people want to come to you versus your competition. So being your own brand is like how you actually begin to like put yourself out there with your product.
Nailed it.
Okay. No parsley, Dev.
No parsley at all.
Dev. Okay, I like that.
Talking about no Google.
I like that. Yeah, y'all are killing it because that is what it means to be a brand. Like you represent something more than yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. And that led us.
Straight to
It really did. So then let's make it personal. How would you describe your individual brand?
A boss. Let me start.
So like even if
Me.
and that could be one of two things,
Money.
right? Like how would you describe yourself physically as a brand, or if you actually have a brand, how would you describe that? Like how would you describe your brand?
Ooh.
Well, how I describe my brand is just self-encouragement, empowerment. And I also say like history, because I like to give out history when it comes to the Black community because we really don't know that much. So for me, I describe it as just like self-empowerment for the Black community because we are unique compared to other races. So that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Ooh.
What's up?
Like that we're potting. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Def.
Guess I'll talk now. As a brand, I mean, I guess I can describe it as my personality as well, which is kind of cool, laid back, chill, neutral tones, not too bright. But yeah, I'm a pretty calm person. I feel like that even reflects in like my graphic design world when I accept projects or do photo shoots. Well, the photo shoots might get a little, extra little razzle dazzle compared to other things, but yeah.
Okay. Mark, how would you describe your own personal brand?
Okay, coming to my personal brand, I think I'm just really figuring things out more right now, honestly. So, kind of different from y'all. I can't give like a specific answer. I do have some things brewing up. I'm gonna talk about a little bit more as I'm looking at these questions. But I would definitely say I'm in the works right now, trying to figure some things out. So it's maybe y'all gonna be along this journey with me while I figure all this out.
Hopefully.
Keep y'all updated. I'm excited.
Call me.
Guys, too.
Better not lead the podcast. I know that.
You're stuck.
Reggie, how about you?
I battled with this question for a long time, and I really look at my brand as
Reggie's so dope.
Right.
That
I
is
look
a
at
brand,
it as
sure.
truly as an adventure that involves empowerment, but also shaking tables. So when I look at me as like a speaker and a motivational artist, it's like I'm gonna motivate you, I'm gonna entertain you, but like also I'm gonna press those buttons because
Makes you think.
who the hell are we to think our buttons shouldn't be pressed?
Right.
Like, and I mean that in like a aggressive way because I also think of pressing buttons in a whole other way, and that just hit me. But y'all get it, maybe. But yeah, so like, for real. Like, I think because we are so sensitive, so like in this world, when I do anything, whether it's a podcast, again, a motivational experience, either some other products that I'll be releasing later on this year.
Everybody got something coming, huh? Looks around.
It all chronicles you're going on an adventure, you're improving, so you're elevating as a person. You're going to be entertained. Like also, we're going to shake some tables. Straight up. Cool. Okay. All right. Cool. Like what we're doing here. And I really like that all of us do have like our own individual brands. Like I'm happy no IDKs didn't just go around the room because that would make this very next question quite awkward. So like, when did y'all realize that you wanted to create a brand? So we all got our brands. Some of us been doing this for longer than others, whatever. Like we've worked for other people's brands. But like, when did y'all realize like, damn, you know what? I actually do want to start my own thing.
Should we go to the
Okay,
guests first?
I'll go first. For me, as in the Black community, we constantly see like Black men being murdered and like just the injustice. I originally just wanted to do something that didn't put me in the front lines, like protesting. So I originally just was like, how can I give back to the community or do something positive without either like putting a hole in my pocket or even, like I said, protesting and getting in harm's way. So with me being an artist, I was like, oh, I'll start an Instagram page. And then from there, the following day after I made the Instagram page, after I came up with the name It's a Black Vibe, I was like, I got to turn this into a brand. Mm-hmm. People need to be able to wear this. People need to be able to, if they can't be on social media all the time, be able to put something on and feel good. So that's how I came about starting the brand.
Mm-hmm. So that's how you started it. But is that when you realized you wanted to create one, did you just go and do it?
Yeah, it was literally an instinct. Like I said, I started the Instagram page and the following day I was like, no, I'm a graphic designer. I know how to brand. I need to make this into a whole thing. And from there, a couple of days later, I'm applying for my trademark. I'm applying for to register the business. So like it instantly just went like this. It came out of nowhere. And to me, I'd like to tell people I found my purpose. So
that's beautiful.
This is a tough act to follow.
Listen, y'all should have had me go first then. So
we love it. You the guest. Stay here for us all the time.
Okay. For me, I would say I kind of realized that I wanted to start a brand. When I fully found myself as a graphic designer, and I realized how a brand is made, and it was just like, oh, I can do this. I can launch my own brand. Say if I really like candles, I'm able to make the label, find out the measurements, do all this extra stuff, build the brand, register the trademark, design the website, and sell the candles. So it's like when I realized that I had the power to actually make a brand itself, then I kind of realized that, hey, what's my niche? What I want to do that actually doesn't feel like a business, and it'll be basically my personality in a brand. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Why not?
For me, when I realized it was I think it kind of fell into my lap because I'm a very go with the flow person. I know what I like to do, but I never really realized how other people associate things with me. So when it comes to the just doing things I love to do, working with y'all in Psyck discussions, or me just skating, literally just doing things I like to do. When people start hitting me up and they start showing how much they respect what we do and we take it seriously, I was like, okay, maybe I should kind of take it as serious as other people view it. Because I was just doing it for fun. I love to do this, talk with y'all on Psyck discussion. I love to just go skating. But people literally start hitting me up yo, I love what y'all do, respect the A, B, and C, or is the podcast. Like I said, me having fun skating, people hit me yo, can you teach me A, B, and C? I'll pay you. I'm I'm just doing it because I like it. I guess maybe I should look a little bit more into this seriously. I was really just doing it for the love of what I love to do. So when people really started, I said, showing that love and respect, and really started taking it serious, I was like, okay, maybe it's a lot bigger than me than I realize it is. Just having fun with it. Let me explore a little bit deeper.
That's dope.
Yeah,
that's dope. So y'all, I've been speaking for 8 years now. Legit, when I started to get booked and really take speaking seriously since I was 20.
Wow.
And what made me realize that I wanted to start a brand was, so I'm in undergrad living it up. Right? We partying, we kicking it. Reggie So Dope was a real character, so much so that people couldn't even tell that Reggie So Dope and Reggie Bates was the same person. Legit. And so after a few years of speaking and going to conferences, I realized people were getting paid bread to speak. And at first I just wanted to be signed by a speaking company. I wanted to just do what I saw people doing the way I saw them doing it. And as I watched more people, I felt like I just always found flaws. I'm I don't want to do it that way. I like that part, but I wouldn't have did it that way. And so as I continued to speak, honestly, by year 4 in a game for me, that's when I started to call myself a motivational artist. Because I'm I don't do it like how y'all do it. Poetry is included. Impersonations is included. Storytelling. I don't speak the way other people do. So I'm actually, let me really establish my brand so that I can do it my way. Because I don't do it how y'all do it. And that's okay. I wasn't meant to. I wasn't meant to. So so that's when I realized I wanted to start a brand. So I'll say when I was 20. And then I decided to take it way more seriously at around the age of 22. And we just been grooving ever since.
Grooving.
Like legit. And that led to so many other doors, but that's a whole other episode. All right, so what steps then did y'all take to start to create these brands? So we realized we wanted to start a brand. For the most part, we started a brand. Or Marvin, your brand started because you was gonna do you regardless. You know what I mean? So like, what steps did y'all actually take into creating these brands?
Just kind of going off of what we just said about the last question, I would say the most important first step is to do something that you love or have a passion for, like Marvin, skating. Reggie is a motivating speaker. Mariah here, it's a black vibe. She had the idea and then she went for it. And it's just like, you got to hold on to that first step, because if it's something you don't really care about, then when you get in trouble, if the business isn't going the way you think it is in the first year, the first month, then you might just like quit and give up about it. But I'm gonna pass the mic, because y'all know I keep it short.
I like that. Okay.
For me, wait, what was the question again, Chad?
No, all good.
I was so into him, and I was like, yeah, and I was like, wait, what was?
What's that? What's all like that shit you talking about?
I agree.
So like, what steps did you take into creating your brand? So like, we realized you wanted to start one. We identified what that thing is. Devin led us with a great point where like your heart has to be in it for the most part, but like, so maybe were there more steps in it for you besides your heart in it? Like I know you mentioned getting a trademark and all this other stuff. So
for me, it was just the passion of being able to come up with ideas and all the stuff that I post. Like I did 5 days of giveaways. Like I did a whole holiday giveaway where, you know, people were able to like interact and like leave comments and share and enjoy the stuff that I post. So for me, it's just more about just giving positive vibes and just making people like happy or giving them something to laugh about if they're having a bad day. So that's the most part.
Decent. Suave.
So, just the steps that I'll take. Well, right now I'm in like the idea phase, kind of what you were just talking about. But so, like I said earlier, it kind of just fell into my lap, the idea from people reaching out to me. And the second step, I guess I would say, is trying to figure out what I want to do with this, with the skating stuff. Like I said, people would hit me up like, yo, can you teach me A, B, and C? Or like, can I just come with you? Like, you show me stuff, I'll pay you or whatever. So like me, I was like, nah, just come. Like, you know, it's people that's been doing this way longer than me. I'm learning from them. Like, I don't want to step on their toes. But people are like, nah, like, I don't feel comfortable. I want to come to you. So I was like, okay, so now I have to figure out like, how am I going to go about doing this without like, it's like I'm like going to start at other people. I'm learning from you, but I'm teaching the same stuff you teaching me to somebody else to get paid for it. But you teaching me for free. So I'm just trying to, like, I have to literally figure out like, what am I trying to do? Like you said, so just trying to figure out like a game plan. And then now I feel like now I have something like a little bit more momentum rolling. Built a team together. So it's like 4 or 5 of us. We're still trying to figure out like who's going to stay, who's going to go, like who can be committed. And we just coming up with ideas now. So we at the drawing board and figure out like what exactly we're trying to do. Like, we just came up with like a logo, like stuff like that.
Oh,
so
y'all grooving. Let's go. World exclusive. New information.
You heard it first.
So it's in the works right now. Before we start putting it out there, we're trying to get a little bit more foundation built, and then we're going to start slowly getting it out there.
Dope.
Okay. No, I like that. I think it's so interesting when like your skill set or your brand is like an art versus like a product. So like for me, the steps I took in establishing my brand was first I had to create my niche. Right. So I knew speaking was my thing, but like now about what? Like what topic?
Right.
What is the vibe? You know what I mean? And then I had to work that material. Like it's damn near like comedy, singing, like all of that. Like you have to go to different places, work in the material until you feel like it's finally in a place where you can give it to the masses. You know what I mean? And so that's when you start trying to tour and do all this other stuff. But like getting paid, first of all, getting booked to talk is not easy. You know what I mean? And then getting paid to talk is much more difficult than just getting booked to talk. Right. You know what I mean? Like, because granted, you're empowering and all of this other stuff, and you're healing if you're really good at what you do. But people why should they give you their money? to speak.
Yeah.
You know, so I truly did have to like develop a following, develop worthwhile content. Then I had to get testimonials. Like I had to get real people who could speak to the work and their experience while I did the work. Then I needed footage. I needed photos. And then I had all of that stuff and I was killing it on social media. People were like, well, you don't have a website, so why should I pay you? And it's like, oh, fuck, let me get my website. And then like after you grab the website, when you start to you continue to move and you start to make money, then you realize, well, shit, all of this is as an independent contractor. And now you're killing me in taxes. So now I need to go get an LLC or get incorporated or something like that to where I can start to find some of the tax breaks. And then don't get too goddamn big, because if your shit not trademarked, somebody can just snatch it. So it's like, yo, developing my brand as a speaker was definitely not as easy as I thought it was when I first got into it. So I thought like, yo, you got passion, you good with words, you make people laugh, go do that shit, cuz. But then when you get into the business aspect of it, it's like, oh shit. You know? And then it's crazy because this is still my passion area. Now I'm starting to get into consulting work and people are booking me to consult and all of that. And now I'm like, oh shit. I'm gonna elevate the brand, and now I got to do all those steps damn near over with consulting, because now I'm known as a speaker, as an entertainer. But now it's like a real intellectual who can help you build a brand. It's like do overs. So yeah, it's crazy. Like that shit is wild. Long story short, so. All these questions are pretty much just kind of showing some of the building blocks and the foundations of establishing that brand. And so now that we know what steps most of us took to create the brand and where we are in the brand creation, how did y'all know your product or whatever it is you sell, the service or the good, was ready to sell or ready to distribute? And then Marvin, your case, like, when will you know? Like, well, how do you know your product is ready? So for those who have the brands, right? You know, when did you know your shit was ready to hit these streets? And then for Marvin,
when did you know
like,
It's the Black Vibe was ready to hit the streets?
For me, I actually took the time to find like a t-shirt group that I was in. And I kind of learned some of the background, and from my mentor, she was just like, oh, you got to find out what kind of t-shirts you want to put it on, and you need to test it out. So like I did tons of research before I even started and got to that point. So like I was trying on stuff, printing it, just looking up different things. And then from there, I finalized my designs, and I was just like, if I don't do this now, I'm never going to do it. Because the more you keep thinking about it and trying to perfect it, you're never going to put nothing out. So it just came to a point. I gave myself a deadline. I was just like, go for it. Just do it. So from there, I set up my photo shoot, and here we are.
The rest is history.
The rest is history.
Yeah, you definitely made a lot of good points. I guess I only have a little bit of parsley. I don't have too much, Mariah. You know, hit the nail on the head. You'll basically know when it's ready for something to go in production, and whether that's you got to push yourself, like Mariah said, like something can always be changed, fixed, or adjusted when you're making it or doing anything in life. So it's really just you gotta find something this is good enough that people go rock with it, and we go launch this and see how it goes, and then you can always make improvements if something goes bad or something goes really good. Both ways you can make improvements. So yeah.
True.
My question was a little different, so I had some time to think. Thank y'all for answering. So when will I know when our product is ready to go out? So I work with a group of people, so I think it'll be a little bit different. Like I have to keep checking in. Like they may be satisfied with something, but I'm not. So like, how are we gonna, come to the terms? Like, okay, we got to change A, B, and C, or the other way around. Like I may be all the same. Like it's cool, it's ready to be ready to go, and they may not be cool with it. So definitely just going back and forth with my team, making sure everything's straight. And like I said, people been hitting me up individually. So I definitely want to like talk to the team too and see like what exactly is every person trying to do. Like what's the overall goal of the team? Because Like people hit me up about something different, I probably can go off and start my own thing, and I'm not stepping on none of our toes as a business. Or I could be like, building clientele, and I can just traffic them straight into everything we trying to do. So definitely, I think it's a group collaboration thing with me. So I just gotta make sure like the whole team on the same page, and then I can determine when I'm ready to start working.
Okay, that's good shit. Good shit.
Reginald,
I guess I can go. No, it was different because I have so many different brands, right? So like with speaking, I know a presentation is ready when it flows.
it shakes some tables.
Right, it does. It shakes some tables, but like more importantly too, after I do some test runs, the time frame is still there. Because that's another thing about performing, where it's like if you got 45 minutes, your ass got 45 minutes. So like even if I want to talk about X, Y, and Z, it's like, Z might have to go today. You know what I mean? Like is X that important? Because like what's the overall thing? So like the real key for me is I know a presentation is ready when I have a version of it that can be done in 15 minutes, 30, 45, and an hour plus. Like that's when I truly know it's ready. Same thing with keynotes, because those are like workshops or whatever. I know a keynote is ready when I can also have a workshop that can follow it, because I don't want to just razzle dazzle your ass and be like peace out. So when I know I have all of those parts in place, then I'm ready to present that. So that's how it is with speaking. But then with establishing this podcast, on the other hand, it was so much more different. So many more parts. As Marvin was saying, well, like, first of all, this idea started in 2016. That's when we had a name, we had a crew. What was it, 2017?
It was somewhere. It was 2017.
2017. So me, Marvin, and Shelby, we had legit 10 topics. We recording at Marvin's crib. Like, we knew about putting it on Anchor. Like, we had the whole setup. We recorded 10 episodes, y'all. And then it got to a point where we couldn't find an audio engineer. And then we had recorded it on an iPhone. So it was like, it's only so much you was going to do with that. And then we were like, fuck it. Me and Marvin downloaded these audio engineering softwares. We was like, we're about to figure this shit out ourselves. And like, we would sit and try to edit it, and some were cool, some just didn't make it. And then that got lost in cyberspace. We did a whole photo shoot where I still got those photos legit on my computer, and it's like, my God, oh my goodness. So that didn't work. And then we had an iteration of it where it was me, Marvin, my homeboy Shaq, and we like wanted Devin, but then Devin was like, y'all not for real. So then that didn't happen. And then we did another one where it was like, okay, me and Marv, and we wanted to, I forgot who the other people were going to be. And then we finally got one that worked where it was me, Marvin, Sam, Dev, and that was just a team, right? And we still didn't get into the topics to create, where we were going to record. So like, we didn't know the podcast was ready for real until we had all the equipment. We had a location for the equipment. We had the photo shoot. Like, cause oh shit, we recorded episodes on Zoom when the pandemic first hit, and then like we recorded 3 episodes, and then we was like, actually, we're gonna redo these in person. It took so many levels. So y'all, we were really working together for like 3 or 4 months before y'all got one episode, and we was working for like 3 years before we even got the group that can create the episode. But like, yeah, so you just
not this Destiny's Child,
right? We have a whole documentary, and now like the roster has changed again. So even though it was ready for that time period for the vision that we had and how we wanted to move forward, that iteration of the group wasn't ready for where we were trying to go next. So like, when your vision is aligned with the work, where everything is comfortable and smooth sailing, it's ready to go out. And then once it goes out, you got to make your adjustments to make sure now we can keep this product going to the quality we want it to. So that's my story. That's the history. Who knew the history of the podcast was going to come on this episode? But yeah, so that's how you know. And now I'm screaming at my next question, because did you ever fail when creating your brand? If so, how?
You know, when I first read that question, I was like, damn. Have I felt like I really had to sit and like think about it? But a good friend of mine told me that you can't fail unless you quit. So and I thought about it and I'm like, well, I haven't quit. I haven't failed yet. And I just started. So I'm gonna say no, I have not failed.
I love that.
And to piggyback off Mariah's answer, actually, I have something that semi-failed in 2017. I'm not going to say what the topic is because it's making a comeback in 2021. In a few months, we'll see it. I'll keep you guys posted on when it's launching, but the name has been made since 2017.
What the fuck is this?
And now it's ready to launch this year. So yeah, Marv.
I love a good spoiler.
Yes.
I ain't gonna say too much because my LSC ain't
right. Hello,
girl.
Come on.
Somebody be like, I want that idea.
Come on now.
That's what's up. That's dope. Fail, since I'm still in the works, I'm new to this, I would say no. I definitely think I've made it a little bit tougher for myself though. Just not reaching out to people that I know a little bit further ahead of me. Or if I see people that's doing something I kind of want to do, like, hey, that's dope. And I'll stop there. Like, no, like you can definitely reach out and still ask for advice. You know, that's just like some type of guidance if you're new to it. So fail, no, I would say it could have been a little bit easier process for us. Yeah. Definitely could have been easier.
I failed a lot of times with creating my brands, y'all. I can't even start. Like, which even though it's an area of improvement, right? That's the way Black people learn how to say fail or weakness. These were things we could improve upon. And it was quite a few things. One, I had signed to a motivational speaking company, and this was a company that I loved. And I mean, they're still doing good work, so it was like no shade to them, but they didn't quite have a plan for me when signing me. And I didn't quite have a plan for myself because my plan was to get signed.
Not you had a bad music contract.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what it low-key sounded like too.
Not you with Shell.
You know, like it was crazy because at the time I was the youngest person in the company and nobody was doing what I was doing. You know what I mean? Like I had a 98% success rate, meaning like positive feedback. So I had been in front of thousands of people at that point with this organization. So it's not like I wasn't doing my part. It's just the structure and the format and the foundation of the company. I wasn't prioritized. And I'm sorry, y'all. If you signing me, I need to be a priority. That's just the reality. If I can't do work anywhere else without you being connected to it, attached to it, or you being like, you knowing about it, like if I'm really no longer an individual, like everything I do of this skill set technically belongs to you, I better be a goddamn priority. You know what I mean? And so I have no regrets against signing that contract because now I know how contracts work. Like I was signed, y'all. But having to recuperate. So after I finished up the contract, I decided to cut terms, and then I needed a break to like regather myself, regroup, and rebrand. And so I guess I can look at that as a failure because I got what I wanted with no game plan of what comes next. So I definitely can say I failed in that aspect and create my book. And I was going to say my first book, and the people were like, what the fuck, you got a book? Y'all have a whole book that's been done. Yeah.
I read it. Can I get
so what's crazy thing is about that book is I finished it in 2019, September of 2019. And I hadn't finalized my plan because also with this speaking contract came a publishing contract as well, a publishing deal. So when I realized I was leaving the company, I was like, well, shit, I'm definitely not giving y'all my goddamn book. You know what I mean? And then I wrote that book in so many places of pain where once I finished it, it was like, ooh, I'm ready to put it out. And then 2020 came and 2020 gave us some shit, right? But then also I went back through some of those pages and I was like, ooh, I probably shouldn't have said that like that. You know, because in the book right now is very raw and very vulnerable. But now that I'm a lot more healed through those situations, I'm like, it's better ways to say this. And so I promised people a book. I was telling people I'm 80% done, this percent done, and I still never gave it to them. So in a sense, I failed. But now I'm working on a completely different book. I have an editor. I have a whole game plan now. So it's like this, it's coming, you know what I mean? Something, and that book is done. And so when I edit that, technically I'll have 2 books. But yeah, I failed quite a few times when developing my brand because you'll get these ideas and then you'll kind of work on it. And then life happens and then you get depressed and then you don't really work on shit. And then like you try to get back to it and you realize now it has to be different because the world has changed and you have changed. And it's like, how the fuck do I get this thing to a place to where I'm comfortable with it going out?
Right.
All right,
so
Reggie.
Hella.
So what I'm hearing is you Tiana Taylor at Def Jam.
Man, listen, I'm retiring from music, y'all. But now I work with Fenty Skin or whoever she work with. What she work with?
I don't know, so I'm just gonna move on.
Okay. So we're starting to pull at the heartstrings a little bit here, and we're starting to wrap up a bit. Is your brand connected to your passion, or at least one of your passions?
Do we answer this? I feel like we answered.
Some people were saying that, and I asked that, right? Because again, LLC Twitter be like, start your business, do this. You don't have no shit, no nothing, no dream, no nothing. And then also these Forex folks is like, get into stocks. But it's like, what if I don't know?
I don't like
shit?
stocks.
And then people are like, what? You ain't got a house for your sister, mama, cousin, them? So like all these people on social media is telling you like, you ain't making money this way, you ain't doing this way, you ain't doing that. And so I was like, well, shit, a lot of people are out here with whole brands that they're not passionate about.
I just feel like if you want something that's going to be built to last, it should be connected to one of your passions because it'll be easier to just keep the thing alive and keep it going, like I said earlier, rather than when, say, something bad happens. I don't have an example at the moment, but something bad happens. And then like it's detrimental to the brand to where you can't really go on, but you can still fight for it if you really care about it, and you'll find a way to make it happen. But so
Okay.
I have to agree with what Devin said. For the most part, for me, since everything that I've done so far has been my career, what I went to school for. So for me, it's just been real easy to just continue to do it. As far as like expanding, it's a different zone that I have to learn. So, there comes trials and tribulations where you kind of have to, learn more than what you anticipated, but you kind of just got to roll with the punches. But for the most part, for me, like, as long as it's part of something that you enjoy doing and it doesn't feel like a job, that's the best way you can keep something going for a long time. So
yeah, and even just to go off what Mariah just said, like she's a graphic designer, so she's passionate about it. So if a bunch of people are like, "Oh, I don't like it's the back vibe font," if she wasn't a graphic designer, maybe she'll be like, "Oh, I'm quitting, or I'm just gonna throw this on the shelf." But if that actually happened, she could be like, "I'll make a new logo." But the logo she got now is fine and
fire.
Cute and fire.
And it's free-ish since 1865. Fire.
It's a blackvibe.com.
And it fit well. I'm comfortable.
I'm super comfortable. 100 thread count. 1,000 thread count.
You can get it from the website at 4545. May call nausea, indigestion. No, just saying, this ain't causing none of that. It's causing happiness, freedom, and white people tears. That's the only thing it's causing. But with the brand, ho.
Oh my God.
Well, that went left.
I've been waiting to cut up for hours. Suave, you got any parsley for that one? Is your brand connected to your passion?
No, I love what y'all said. There's no parsley needed. Look, y'all
right, very crazy. Much so. Look. All the herbs are there. Okay, you know what I mean? Like
tasteful. Y'all think.
I only do shit that I'm passionate about at this point. I've tried doing all that other shit. Like I've worked for so many other companies, so many other brands. Now, like if I can't really fuck with it on the inside, I ain't fucking with it ever. Yeah. that man, you just reminded me of the speaking gig I fucking had. No, fucking Western dog. There was a speaker that they paid to come speak, and then they pretty much had like a little exhibition where a few other speakers were able to like apply, and you could choose who rooms you were going to go to and all that other shit. And the numbers were very, very low. They were like, oh, like 200 people, 300 people are gonna come. It was dead ass 25. And so
should have canceled that.
yeah, so and then the dude was running late and they had paid him, which is a guy now like we cool, we work. He acts now, he's on a whole BET Plus show. But anyway, he comes in, right? Starts with poetry. And like I got like a little intro rap that I do. So I was like, ooh, okay. And then like a lot of the topics, y'all, dead ass, I was taking my outline and I was just crossing out my topics because he was speaking on so many topics that I was going to speak on. Imagine I never met this man ever. So I was like, well, what the fuck? Shit. And then some of my mentees who are with me, they like, yeah, you might as well hang it up, bro. He just took the whole presentation. And I was like, nah, I got one for that ass. And as this man is speaking, I am whole changing and crafting, creating a whole another presentation. And then I have another person working on my slides and changing my slides. And this happened within 20 minutes. You know what I mean? And that's how I knew like this was my fucking passion area. Because somebody else,
if you copied and pasted a speech,
you know
just
what I
would
mean?
have been out of luck, looking dumb.
Every time, well, just like Monty said, just like that dude named Monty Washington. So just like Monty said, and then I'll be like, now you look dumb. You know what I mean? So I legit had to craft a whole new you dig. I scratched my intro rap, had to create a new way to introduce myself. It was fucking crazy. So yeah, just know you can't be quick on your feet if you're really not standing on shit anyway. Come on.
Walking on ink.
So let's go here. We just gonna bring this thing home. How about that? We just gonna bring it home because I think a lot of really good gems was dropped today. And so what advice then do y'all have for someone who wants to start a brand but doesn't know where to start?
Well, I'll go first. I would say research. Study your competition, see what they're doing, see how the audience reacts to it. Make sure you nail down your niche. If you don't know what that is, research.
Look it up, D.
I mean, honestly, Google was my friend, and I don't know a lot about the business side of having a brand. So I've learned a lot just by researching, and now I'm on Clubhouse learning more. But yeah, just continue to research and even find a mentor as well. That's also very helpful. But yeah, that's all I get.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
All right, so Mariah in the house. I would say a little parsley for that. I originally was gonna say start, but as Mariah said, do some research. You know, don't just go out there all willy nilly. Just start. Make sure it's connected to your passion, because again, like it'll be easier for you to create and manifest things that you're created to, rather than, hey, I see Alex over there, he like making candles and his candle business doing real good, so I'm gonna make candles. Like, no, you don't know the reason that person's making candles or doing that type of business, and you won't be as connected as they are to it.
Okay. Suave. Good job.
Looks around the room.
I mean, y'all, so when you figure it out, I just really want to touch on like utilizing your resources and people around you. Like, I understand what people try and go for, but I don't believe in like being self-made. Like, you did not do it all by yourself. It's okay to like you said, find a mentor. Like, figure out like the mistakes that they made. Try and make your process a little bit easier. So definitely, like just use your resources, find some mentors, and then just figure it out from there.
Yeah, because I guarantee the blueprint for what you're trying to do is definitely out there. It's not, you're not the first person to want to make a brand or sell something. Like, you don't gotta struggle as much. Like, look it up, research it, find the blueprint, and then go from there.
And it's people who literally are excited about mentoring. Right. So there are people who love what they do so much they want to pour that into so many other people. Like, you plan yourself by not getting a mentor.
Yeah.
For me, I would say the best place to start at, building a brand is connecting to the you are in the shower. People are like, what? You are the most creative when you're in the shower. You in there singing, you in there dancing, you planning out your argument with that nigga, that bitch. No, but not like your brain does what the fucking need to do. It prepares you for work. It prepares you for the party. Like you don't even realize some of your best fucking ideas happen in the shower. And so I know a lot of my speaking ideas come in the shower. A lot of my acting ideas come when I'm in the shower. And so I've learned to like, when a good idea is flowing, I grab my phone real quick and just like put a voice note in there.
Mm-hmm.
But until you can get to that point, I would just say really pay attention to the thoughts that are flowing while you're in the shower, because those are the things that's going to connect you to where you're going. Like real talk. And then when you get out the shower and put on some clothes, take the risk. Go on the adventure. Go on the adventure. Like dead ass, my senior year in high school, imagine I'm football captain, all that shit. And I was like, I really want to do theater though. Like I always had a heart for like singing and just performing.
Okay, Troy boy.
You got to chill on me. But not for real. So my senior year, I said, fuck it, I'm going to go to theater arts. And my counselor was like, you know, there's like acting, right? Duh, motherfucker. Like put me in the class. And what's crazy is the very first day I had to do improv. Mm-hmm. And from that moment, I refuse to ever leave the stage. And now I'm speaking, I'm consulting, we're potting. Like all of this was made possible from all of the performances I did in the shower. Where I finally was like, fuck it, let me go to theater. And then hella doors open. So I like that. Be the you are in the shower.
I like that.
Except put some fucking clothes on. All right, so we gone. Wrap it right there. Want to thank Mariah again for pulling up to the basement.
Pulling up.
Mariah, how can they find you? How can people connect to you?
Y'all can find me on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Instagram. At It's a Black Vibe.
It's all one thing because she a solid brand.
Period. Ain't nobody stole her shit.
It's a Black Vibe is on everything. And the
ain't
website
no underscore
is
in one.
it'sablackvibe.com, baby.
No underscore.
No underscore on the Twitter handle. And then the Instagram.
And it's a Black Vibe 69. None of that. It's a period black period vibe. No. She got her shit together.
Let's go.
Okay. All right, cool. So with that being said, we are done. Thank y'all so much for listening.
It's a Black Vibe.
It's a Black Vibe in the building. As always, the world is sick,
but good conversation is the cure.
And we are out.
Deuces.
666.